I was sold for chump change to a courtesan house, never expecting its ruthless master to one day fall for me. Know your place, Master Wang snapped, his fingers digging into my shoulder. I made you what you are today. Don't ever forget that. His grip was firm, almost bruising. The faint scent of sandalwood clung to his sleeve. His eyes darkened as he stared at me, unblinking. I had never seen him like this before. Was it anger? His words were cutting, yet I did not feel threatened. Not truly. Beneath the harshness, there was something else, something tightly restrained. I held his gaze. Slowly, his eyes softened. In that moment, I knew. Wang Yi could never truly despise me. If you don't love me, I said quietly, then stop looking at me like that. His fingers twitched against my shoulder. Like what? Like you want to consume me, I answered. You bristle whenever a man touches me. Your jaw tightens. Your eyes burn. Tell me, if you want me now. I will belong only to you. The words left my lips before fear could stop them. My pulse hammered in my ears. I stepped closer, and the space between us vanished. I could feel the warmth radiating from his body, hear the slight hitch in his breath. Our noses almost brushed. For the first time, the powerful, calculating master of the house, flustered. Emboldened, I lifted my hand and traced it slowly along the front of his robe, over the firm line of his chest. I felt the steady rise and fall beneath silk. His hand shot up, seizing my wrist mid-motion. Xu Yan, you are nothing more than an asset to me. His voice low and controlled, though the tension was unmistakable. I will keep you here as long as you earn your worth. Cause trouble, and I won't spare you. For a heartbeat longer, he held my wrist. Then he released me. The air between us felt suddenly hollow. Without another word, Wan Qi turned and walked toward the door. He did not look back. The door closed with a muted thud. I stood alone in the dim room, my shoulder still warm where he had touched me, my wrist tingling from his grip. Was I truly nothing more than an object to him? Or was he lying to both of us? Chapter 1. I was 13 when my drunken father sold me for a bag of silver. He sat slumped in the corner, counting the coins in his hand. His eyelids drooped, his cheeks flushed red. His body swayed like he might fall over at any moment. I was ripped from my brothers' and sisters' hands. They screamed, their small hands gripped my fingers as tight as they could. But it didn't matter. A man grabbed my arm and threw me over his shoulder like I was weightless. Hurry up. We don't have all day. The woman beside him clicked her tongue. Her face was caked in powder, thick and pale like dough left too long in the sun. And just like that, they turned and walked away. I watched my siblings run after us, screaming, crying. They got smaller. And smaller. Until I couldn't see them anymore. I reached out. But that was the last time I ever saw them. The memory never faded. It carved itself deep into the back of my mind. I remember arriving at the night-bead courtesan house, my body still trembling. Everything felt strange. Men in silk robes laughed loudly. Their faces were red from drinking. Their eyes moved over the women beside them. Their voices were slow and heavy. And the women. It was my first time seeing courtesans. Their hair was styled high and decorated with shining pins. Their clothes were bright and beautiful, full of colors and patterns. Their faces were painted, white as porcelain, brushed with soft pink at the cheekbones. They looked perfect. I looked down at myself, dirty skin, torn clothes. Could someone like me ever become like them? Move. The woman shoved me forward into an elegant chamber. The wooden walls were painted with landscapes, mountains, rivers, a world far more beautiful than the one I came from. And in the middle of the room stood a man. He held an open paper fan, half concealing his face. His eyes lifted the moment I stepped in, calm, knowing, as if he had been expecting me all along. Bow to Master Wang Yi, the woman said, forcing my head down with her palm. He owns this place. Everyone here belongs to him. Her voice changed when she said his name. Softer and careful. I slowly looked up. This was the man who bought me. The one who tore me from my home. The one who now held my life in his hands. Master Wang Yi watched me in silence before lowering his fan. He wasn't just handsome. He was striking. As if everything in the room existed only to frame him. Even the courtesans, with all their beauty, faded into the background. He stepped closer. One step. Then another. Until he stood right in front of me. And suddenly, I was painfully aware of everything, the dirt beneath my nails, the frayed edges of my sleeves, the smell of dust clinging to my skin. I had never felt smaller. My heart pounded against my ribs. Shu Yan, he said. My name sounded different when he said it. Gentle and slow. Do you want to become a courtesan? My hands trembled. I nodded. With that face, the woman scoffed, her smirk sharp and deliberate. I lowered my eyes. It will take time, Master Wang Yi said. But it's possible. My heart lifted, just a little. For now, let her work with the others. His sleeve lifted in a lazy gesture of dismissal. He had already turned away, his attention shifting back to the stack of ledgers on his desk. And that was it. The woman grabbed my sleeve between two fingers, as if even touching me might stain her. And dragged me out. She shoved me into a room with 3 other girls around my age. Their clothes were worn, but cleaner than mine. So were their faces and hands. They stared at me. Unimpressed. Uninterested. Or maybe, it wasn't about me at all. Maybe, to them, every new girl was the same. Nothing special, just another one. Ha Jing, the woman called, her tone flat. Show her the ropes. Yes, ma'am, one of the girls replied, stepping forward. The woman gave me a quick glance, then left the room. She didn't even look back. Don't mind her, a soft voice said behind me. That's Madame Hong. She's in charge of the maids. I turned. The girl, Ha Jing, gave me a small, tired smile. Not kind, but not cruel either. What's your name? She asked. Shu Yan, I said quietly. Speak louder, she said. They hate it when you mumble. She rolled her eyes, as if she meant everyone in this place. The work was hard. The people were worse. I ran up and down the tall stairs all day. In and out of rooms. Carrying robes. Collecting clothes, only for them to be thrown back in my face. No matter how fast I moved, it was never enough. My fingers went numb from soaking in cold water for hours. Day after day. Season after season. But that wasn't the worst part. When something went missing, they blamed me. When something was stolen, they blamed me. Every time. Without fail. They laughed at me for being sold so cheaply to this place. As if that alone made me less than them. Maybe it did. Because after a while, I started to believe it too. If I spoke back, I was slapped. If I raised my voice, I was whipped. The pain faded. It always did. But the humiliation, that stayed. It clung to me. At night, I cried in silence. Why was I always the one treated this way? Still, I survived. I had to. Before I knew it, I had spent 3 years inside the Nightbeat courtesan house. In all that time, I barely saw Master Wang Yi. He belonged to the front of the house, the bright, important parts. I was pushed to the back, where no one cared to look. Sometimes, rarely, he would pass by. And every time, my breath would catch. I would lower my head, and steal a glance as he walked away. Just a second. Just enough to see him. I didn't know if he ever noticed me. Someone like me, small, invisible, unimportant. But still. I could still picture him clearly. Every detail. Like a painting I could never forget. Chapter 2. The arrival of Lord Wu Meng sent a wave of panic through Nightbeat. Servants rushed in every direction. Rooms were checked, wine was prepared, and dishes were laid out in a hurry. Everything had to be perfect. Lord Wu Meng was the youngest son of a court minister. Spoiled and entitled, he treated Nightbeat like his backyard garden. The doors always opened. The women always smiled. He only had to lift a finger, and everything was given to him. Lord Meng was known for something worse. He liked virgins. And tonight, he came for Jing. Jing was 2 years older than me. Quiet and kind. Stronger than the rest of us. She taught us how to work, how to avoid being punished. At least, most of the time. I stood behind her, combing her long, silky hair with a small wooden comb. In the mirror, she looked beautiful. Her makeup was soft. Her hair was perfect. For a moment, I imagined myself in her place. Dressed like that. Wanted like that. But then, I remembered what tonight meant. And the thought made my chest tighten. My hands slowed. Somewhere in my mind, a face appeared. Wang Yi. And I shivered. You should avoid Lord Meng at all costs, I said quietly. I met her eyes in the mirror. He never asks for the same courtesan twice. He won't keep you. Jing gave a small smile, but it didn't reach her eyes. Can I? She asked softly. Her hand trembled. Just a little, but I saw it. I go to the highest bidder. That's the rule. And a few have outbid Lord Meng. Her voice weakened at the end. As if she already knew. Then, let's just hope, I said. I stepped in front of her and gently wiped the tear forming at the corner of her eye. Maybe someone else will come. Someone kinder. Someone stronger. Even as I said it, I knew how unlikely it was. Jing looked at me through the mirror. If only I had your face. Beautiful and innocent. I froze. No one had ever said that to me before. My face grew warm, and I didn't know where to look. I didn't even know if it was true. Jing stood up suddenly. Thank you, Xu Yan. But it's time. I'll go by myself. Her voice was steady again. She took my hand and squeezed it. A second longer than she should have. As if she didn't want to let go. Then she did. I watched her walk away. Her figure slowly disappeared into the dim corridor. Step by step, until there was nothing left. Only silence, and an unknown fate was waiting for her. But somehow it didn't feel unknown at all. My favorite place in Nightbead was the back courtyard. It stretched far and wide, away from the main house. No roof, no shade, just open sky and sunlight. I would stand there and let the warmth fall over me. My skin tingled, and I liked that feeling. It made me feel alive. As if the world didn't only belong to the night. As if there was still something else, beyond all of this. It never lasted long, but I needed it. I hung the washed clothes one by one, then reached for the dry ones. It would look good on you. Wang Yi's voice came from behind me. My hand froze. I had been staring at the silk robe. Slowly, I turned and bowed. Master Wang Yi. He walked past me and took the robe from the line and, before I could react, draped it over my shoulders. The movement was quick. His fingers brushed against me as he adjusted the fabric. But I felt it. Every touch. My breath caught. He smoothed the robe over my shoulders, then down along my collarbone. I didn't move, I couldn't. The robe settled against my body. I looked up, and he was too close. His eyes held mine. For a moment, I saw myself reflected in them. Not the girl from before. It fits, he said, his gaze lingered. His thumb brushed lightly against my cheek. He tilted my chin up, studying me. Like he was appraising a flower vase. I didn't pull away, but something inside me tightened. I didn't hate his touch. I hated that it felt no different from the way he looked at the others. Just another woman. Just another tool of his trade. I stepped back, and his hand fell away. I took off the robe and folded it neatly, placing it aside. Don't you want to become a courtesan? He asked. His fan opened then closed. I will when I am ready, I said, turning back to my work. My voice came out faster than I expected, almost sharp. Why are you here, master? I heard you like this place, so I came to see it for myself. My hands stilled. I turned, but his face was already hidden behind the fan. My thoughts tangled. I didn't know what to say. Didn't know what he meant. This time, he reached for my hand. Something small was pressed into my palm. "For your hands," he said quietly. And then, he turned and walked away before I could respond. I looked down. A small wooden box rested in my hand. Inside was ointment, colorless, scentless. And yet I held it tighter. A strange warmth spread through my chest. I wondered, had he noticed me all along? Chapter 3. That night, Lunan's scream tore through my eardrums. I thought I might go deaf if she didn't stop. Her chest heaved violently, her eyes glared at me like a hungry tiger. Her fingers shredded the robe as if it were nothing more than a sheet of paper. "How dare you touch my robe," she shrieked, throwing the already ruined silk straight at my face. It had been a fine piece only moments ago, until she tore it apart with her own hands. Not that I could argue. It had never belonged to me in the first place. I could only watch as it was destroyed for a senseless reason. Just because the robe had been draped over me, it was now tainted. I hadn't put it on willingly, Master Wang Yi had. Clearly, someone had told her about the scene. Who knew how much they had twisted the truth? But I chose to remain silent rather than explain something that would only make matters worse. It was simpler this way. Once she finished venting her anger, I would be dismissed. I had endured nearly an hour of her tantrums before. Being scolded by courtesans was nothing new to me. But their cruelty grew sharper as I got older. In a place filled with women like this, they did not support one another. Instead, they formed groups, fought for power, and turned against each other. I did not understand it. Usually, my silence worked. But tonight, Lunan was not satisfied. She began throwing things at me. A powder box, a hair comb, and finally a mirror. The last struck my cheek and scraped across my skin, leaving a thin line of blood trailing down my face. Courtesans and young maids gathered at the doorway, but none stepped forward to help. Lunan staggered closer until she stood right in front of me. "Are you done now?" I asked, meeting her eyes. "You stubborn wench," she sneered, raising her hand and striking my other cheek. Heat flared where her palm landed. "Don't you dare think you're better than the rest of us," she snapped. "You were sold for a handful of coins. What makes you think you're any different?" My fists tightened. But before I could answer, Jing suddenly stepped in front of me. She caught Lunan's hand just as it was about to strike again. Their hands froze in midair. "What the hell are you doing, Jing?" Lunan barked. "Let go. Now." But Jing slapped her across the face with her other hand. I gasped softly. The crowd erupted. Where had she found the courage? Was it because they now held the same position? Or had something inside her snapped? Her expression was unreadable. Too calm for a moment like this. I had just seen her the night before, yet she felt like a different person. She didn't stop. She kept striking Lunan again and again. Blood began to spill from the corner of Lunan's mouth. "Jing, stop," I called. "That's enough." But she didn't respond. Her face was blank, as if she were somewhere else entirely. I rushed forward and grabbed her arms from behind. That was when I saw it. A fresh red mark around her wrist. She froze. Then quickly pulled her sleeve down, covering it, clutching it close to her chest. "Jing?" But she said nothing. She broke free and pushed through the crowd, disappearing into the hallway. Only then did the others rush in to check on Lunan. Jing kept her distance from me after that night. Not just from me, but from everyone as much as she could. Lord Meng began visiting Nightbead more often. And somehow he became her sponsor. I hadn't expected that. I wanted to know what had happened. But before I could find out, Master Wang Yi had something else planned for me. Madame Wei, the person closest to him, called me in privately. She had lived in Nightbead long before Wang Yi was born. She oversaw the courtesans, their training, their schedules, their earnings. She was quiet and strict. But unlike Madame Hong, she was fair. "Madame Wei," I greeted, lowering my head. "You wanted to see me? Can you sing?" she asked. The question came without warning. I blinked, then shook my head. "I used to sing lullabies to my younger siblings," I said. "Sing," she said. My thoughts scattered as I searched for a melody. Under her steady gaze, I forced myself to begin. My voice felt small in the quiet room. After a few lines, she raised her hand. I stopped at once. Her face gave nothing away. You will begin training in singing and dancing tomorrow, she said. Report to the training hall, starting tomorrow. But, why? I asked before I could stop myself. Master Wang Yi's order, she replied. From now on, you will drop all your chores and focus only on your training. She looked at me, her eyes sharp. I expect results in 3 months. Do you understand? I nodded. Yes, Madam Wei. When I returned to my room, the girls looked at me differently. Their eyes followed me, and whispers spread. Madame Hong clicked her tongue as she reassigned my chores to the others. Her expression hadn't softened at all. If anything, it had grown colder. Chapter 4. 3 months passed in the blink of an eye. My training was a success. Madame Wei and the instructors praised me as if they had discovered something rare, something valuable. Even I hadn't known I could do any of it. So how did Master Wang Yi know? The question stayed in my mind, but no answer ever came. Xu Yan, your first performance is tonight. Madame Wei's voice cut through my thoughts. And take this. She handed me a large square box, wrapped in gold silk. I accepted it, my brows lifting slightly. It's a gift from Master Wang Yi, she added, already turning away. I placed the box carefully on my bed. Slowly, I untied the knot and lifted the lid. Inside lay a folded robe. Soft white silk and delicate pink petals embroidered across the fabric. I reached in and lifted it gently. The material was smooth beneath my fingers. Without thinking, I brought it close, resting it lightly against my cheek. A quiet warmth spread through my chest. It was a strange feeling and unfamiliar. But I didn't push it away. For a moment, I felt special, though I didn't know what that meant yet. It felt like a dream. The robe fit perfectly. My hair was done, my face was painted. When I looked into the mirror, I barely recognized myself. Only my eyes and lips were the same. I wasn't placed at the center of the stage. Just a corner. A small disappointment settled in my chest. It wasn't the position that mattered. I just wanted to be seen by Master Wang Yi. I wasn't sure if he would come, but I hoped. And he did. Master Wang Yi stood on the upper balcony, looking down at the hall below. Just another night of a crowd of men who brought profits to his business. He wouldn't have come just to watch me. At first, my feet felt rooted to the floor, my body stiffened. So many eyes, waiting, expecting. My mind went blank like everything I had learned was gone. But as I saw him, something shifted. A quiet strength rose inside me. My body moved. Light and steady. As if it remembered on its own. The music carried me forward. One step, then another. And slowly, the crowd faded, their voices softened. Until they were nothing. I had only one audience. Wang Yi. I knew it was foolish. Maybe even desperate, but I wanted him to see me. To notice me. The music ended on a high note. My feet touched the floor, and I stilled. I lifted my eyes to the balcony. He was still there. Fan raised, his face hidden. He was too far away for me to see anything. Especially his eyes. After that night, I began to draw attention. Patrons asked for me, again and again. But Madame Wei turned them all away. Master Wang Yi's order. I didn't understand. If he didn't want me to become a courtesan, then what did he want from me? I found myself looking into the mirror more often, studying my face. Was I beautiful now? Would he think so? In less than a year, I stood at the front and center. I had become the main performer, capturing the crowd with my voice. My arms and feet moved like soft reeds in water. You look like a goddess. Come drink with me, beauty. I'll pay whatever you want. My fame spread far and wide. More patrons, more admirers, and more unwanted attention. And one of them was Lord Wu Meng. He had once bought out the entire hall just to impress me. His eyes lingered on me whenever I stepped on stage. I had no interest in him. But sometimes, I wondered about Jing. We lived under the same roof, yet we rarely saw each other. She stayed away from everyone. And I couldn't help but worry. One night, after I finished performing, Lord Meng appeared backstage. "Lord Meng," I gasped, stepping back. Then another step. "You shouldn't be here." He moved closer, hands clasped behind his back. "Why are you telling me where I should or shouldn't be?" he said, his voice tight with irritation. "You've been ignoring me. Not once. Not twice. I tried to treat you well." "I'm not permitted to serve yet," I said, my voice rising. The noise from the hall muffled my words. "And it's not just you, my lord. Please understand." I bowed, trying to leave, but he caught my wrist. Before I could react, he pulled me toward him. My back nearly hit his chest. His face hovered just above mine. "I don't like waiting," he said. "And I know exactly what you're doing, raising your value." His grip tightened. "I don't care how much it is. Just be mine." His hand slid over my cheek, then down toward my neckline. Smack. The sound echoed in the room. I slapped him and tore myself free. "Help!" I screamed. "You dared to slap me?" Lord Meng's face twisted. His eyes turned red with anger, his chest rose and fell heavily. "You're nothing but a wench." I stepped back until my hip hit the edge of a table. My hand moved behind me, searching blindly for anything. My fingers closed around a pair of small scissors. I gripped them tightly as he stepped closer again. His hand lifted, high, ready to strike. Then he swung. I squeezed my eyes shut, but the blow never came. I opened my eyes. Master Wang Yi stood beside me, catching Lord Meng's wrist midair. His grip was firm, unmoving. "Wang Yi? Let go." Lord Meng tried to pull back, but Wang Yi held him in place. "What the hell are you doing?" Wang Yi didn't respond. He twisted Lord Meng's wrist. A sharp cry tore from the man's throat. Wang Yi twisted again, slow, controlled, before shoving him back. Lord Meng stumbled, barely keeping his footing, clutching his wrist. "I've warned you," Wang Yi said coldly. "Force is not allowed in Night Bead." "So what?" Lord Meng snapped, his face contorted with pain. "I've spent enough here. And I still don't get the woman I want. Wang Yi, don't push me." Wang Yi flicked his fan open with a sharp snap and held it before him. He was calm, untouched by the threat. He stepped forward until he stood directly in front of Lord Meng. "A rule is a rule. Lord Meng, I suggest you leave." "I won't say it twice." Lord Meng let out a short, stiff laugh. "I'll be back. And next time, we'll see how it goes." He spat on the ground and turned, storming out of the room. Only then did I realize I had been holding my breath. I let it out slowly. My hands were still shaking. Master Wang Yi turned to me. Without a word, he reached behind me and gently pulled my hand forward. "You can let go now." His voice was soft. He pried open my fingers. The scissors fell into his hand. A deep red mark was left on my palm where I had been gripping them too tightly. Chapter 5. Before I realized it, I was already in Master Wang Yi's chamber. This was the second time. Many years had passed, yet everything looked the same as when I was last here. I stared at the red mark around my wrist where Lord Meng had gripped me. It reminded me of Jing. The first night she was with him. I still didn't know what had happened between them, but I suspected her sudden change had something to do with his rumored nature. She had flinched when I touched her. She never returned my gaze when we passed each other. "Xu Yan, are you all right?" Master Wang Yi called. His voice snapped me back. My heart had barely calmed, but I didn't want to worry him further. His concern was comforting. It almost made me forget that awful moment. He had arrived just in time, shielding me even when he was being threatened. His knuckles had turned white as he stopped Lord Meng's hand. His expression had sharpened when I was insulted. "I'm better now," I replied, hiding my wrist inside my sleeve, though I could feel his gaze lingering on it. "I'm sorry. I caused trouble for you." He poured a cup of tea and handed it to me. Drink this. I accepted it and took a sip. It tasted bitter at first, but a soft sweetness followed. It carried a faint floral scent. Lord Meng causes trouble wherever he goes. It's not your fault, he said, looking at me. His gaze was steady, reassuring. Besides, it was bound to happen once he realized I wouldn't let him sponsor you. My heart thumped, my body stiffened. Really? I asked, barely finding my voice. He nodded. I couldn't stop the smile that formed. It had been a nightmare that haunted me for so long. If I became a courtesan, I knew I would never avoid Lord Wu Meng. The thought of him near me made my skin crawl. I hated his gaze, his presence. Everything about him. He was a noble, but he could never compare to Master Wang Yi. Master Wang Yi watched me in silence, as if searching for something. I lowered my eyes, suddenly shy. Would he keep me by his side? Xu Yan, he said, you are now ready to become a courtesan. Something cracked inside me. It felt like a thorn had pierced through my chest, sharp, suffocating. I looked up at him, but his expression did not change. Why? I asked, rising to my feet. I thought. He waited, as if expecting me to finish. As if he didn't understand what I meant. As if he had never made me believe that he might feel something too. I thought you didn't want me to become a courtesan, I said. He fanned himself slowly, raising a brow. What made you think that? A faint smile touched his lips. He stood. Xu Yan, I bought you. I groomed you. I trained you to reach this point. Don't you think it was all meant for this? What else could it be? Something heavy lodged in my throat. I couldn't answer. Not when he spoke so plainly, so honestly. How many courtesans are there in this district? He continued. If you want to stand out, talent alone isn't enough. You need attraction. No, it's bait, isn't it? I said weakly. There's a saying, he replied. What cannot be touched is the most valuable. That is what you are, Xu Yan. Untouchable. And that makes you desirable. He lifted my chin with his fan. A familiar gesture that I had come to hate. I pushed the fan away. He stilled, clearly surprised. Fine, I said, my voice breaking. If that's what you want. I turned toward the door, fighting back the tears threatening to fall. But he caught my wrist. Xu Yan? I looked away as a tear finally slipped down my cheek. His hand reached out, gently touching my face, turning me back toward him. A flicker of surprise crossed his eyes. Why are you crying? Why? I slapped his hand away and ran for the door. He didn't follow. He didn't call my name. I hate him. I hate him so much. The words echoed in my mind as I walked down the dark corridor. I only had myself to blame. It had all been my fantasy. To believe, to think he would keep me for himself. How desperate must I have looked just now? Like a fool. I stepped into my room and let the darkness swallow me whole. I didn't want to see my reflection. Didn't want to remember the moments I had imagined. I dropped onto my bed. Something rough shifted beneath me. Cloth. I froze, then quickly stood, fumbling for a candle, and lit it up. The small flame flickered weakly. I lifted it over the bed and covered my mouth. The robe that Master had given me was shredded. Cut into hundreds of pieces. Who would do this? Lu Nan? I reached down and picked up a few torn pieces. The silk was still soft beneath my fingers. But, ruined. Did it even matter anymore? I tightened my grip. The fabric crumpled in my hand. Just like the robe, my heart had already been torn apart too. Chapter 6. What I had never wished for still came inevitably. For the first time, I was allowed to join a table and offer my companionship to high-status patrons. Wealthy merchants, officials, and even a few ministers. Master Wang Yi introduced me himself, guiding me to a seat beside a young minister. Lord Chen Kongxing. Tonight's gathering was held to celebrate his new appointment at court. Why don't you join us? Lord Kongxing said to Master Wang Yi. I've heard much about you. Let us become acquainted. Master Wang Yi bowed slightly. It would be my pleasure. But I would not dare intrude. Before he could step away, a man from another table stood and pulled him down into a seat. You're no stranger here, Wang Yi, he said with a laugh. We always enjoy ourselves because of you. Master Wang Yi had no room to refuse. Here's to Lord Kongxing, an official called, raising his cup. A man of great talent, and one who will surely serve the court well. Thank you, everyone, Lord Kongxing replied. I still have much to learn from all of you. He looked young for a minister. But there was a quiet confidence about him. His words were measured, his manner respectful. He kept a proper distance from me. And strangely, I felt at ease. Or perhaps it was the wine. I found myself speaking more freely. Laughing at his small jokes. I didn't pull away when his arm brushed lightly against mine. And yet, throughout the night, I felt Master Wang Yi's gaze. Every so often, I caught him looking, watching. I couldn't tell if it was concern or something else. The moment our eyes met, he would lift his fan, hiding half his face. But I saw it. The tightening of his jaw. So I pushed. I leaned a little closer to Lord Kongxing. Let my sleeve brush against his arm longer than necessary. I smiled at him, softly, deliberately, in a way I had never done before. If Wang Yi noticed, he said nothing. Lord Kongxing began requesting my company whenever he returned. In passing, Master Wang Yi would greet the young lord briefly and then leave. His eyes never once lingered on me. So I resisted. I refused invitations. Claimed illness. Made excuses of whatever I could think of. And Master Wang Yi did not tolerate it. He reminded me, again and again, of who I was. Of how I had come this far. Of what I owed. If you continue like this, he warned, you will be cast out. But I didn't believe him because his body betrayed him. The way his hand tensed when our fingers brushed. The way his breath stilled just for a moment. I kept pushing further. But this time, he did not give in. In the end, Madame Wei came to me with his message. Prepare yourself. Lord Kongxing had offered to become my sponsor. The words struck harder than I expected. Clearer than anything before. What it meant, and what Master Wang Yi had chosen. I stormed into his chamber that night, but I didn't expect to find him half drunk at the table. What do you want? He asked, without looking up. I shut the door behind me and stepped forward, snatching the cup from his hand. I don't want Lord Kongxing to become my sponsor, I said. Or anyone else. Xu Yan, stop being childish. We've been through this more than once. You already know your role. He reached for another cup. Are you sure? For another man to touch me. To hold me. His fingers tightened around the small ceramic cup. Will you really be fine with that? The cup hit the table with a dull thud as he stood. His eyes locked onto mine. Stop talking nonsense and leave, he said. His hand gestured toward the door. I don't want to, I shot back. This is where I want to be. And I'm not leaving. He stilled. The lantern light flickered between us, casting trembling shadows on the wall. My heart pounded so hard it hurt, but I didn't step back. I couldn't. This was my last chance. I rose onto my toes and tilted my head, pressing my lips against his. For a split second, he froze. Then his hands gripped my shoulders, pulling me back. Xu Yan, he snapped, but there was no strength behind it. I moved closer again, slipping my arms around him, resting my head against his chest. This time, he didn't push me away. I love you, I whispered. Please stop telling me to go to another man. I don't care about his status, his power, or his wealth. My heart is set on you. You're the only one. He rested his chin lightly above my head. His voice softened. Why? Don't you hate me? I tore you away from your home. I shook my head, my eyes closing tightly. I can't. I've tried, but I can't. My heart still chooses you. I leaned into him, my cheek pressed against his chest. For a moment, it felt like enough. Like everything I had ever wanted was right here. I slowly lifted my head, and he didn't turn away. And then, he kissed me. Deep and unrestrained. I clutched his robe, pulling myself closer. His breath hitched, uneven, as if he was holding himself back. But just as quickly, he pulled away. He stepped back, putting distance between us. It's a mistake. I can't. Why? I cut in. You love me too. What's stopping you? He exhaled heavily. Shu Yan. I don't deserve you. I don't deserve a family. My chest tightened. What do you mean? Open your eyes. This is my business. His voice hardened. A trade built on women's lives. What kind of ending do you think a man like me gets? Marriage? Children? A peaceful life? Silence stretched between us. If I have any conscience left, he said quietly, this is the least I can do. Each word settled heavily in the air. His expression shifted, strained, almost pained. Like he had just torn open something he had long kept buried. I wished I hadn't pushed him. Hadn't forced this truth out of him. Because now, I didn't know how to bear it. I am attracted to you, Shu Yan, he admitted at last. And this, he gestured between us, is as far as it goes. I chose Lord Kongxing myself. He is noble, influential. Make sure you keep him well. We stood there, facing each other. Neither of us moved. The silence stretched, long and quiet, as if we both understood that whatever had just happened between us was something we could never have. Chapter 7. I stood beneath the morning sky, watching the sun slowly rise. My mind had never been clearer. It felt like looking into a mirror and finally accepting what I saw. My future had always been decided. I was sold to this house to become a courtesan. I had been chosen. Dressed in silk, raised in status, and favored by the master, the only man who had ever made my heart race. It should have been enough. That was what I told myself. But my heart didn't listen. It still ached, still reached for him. And knowing that he felt something too only made it worse. Because it changed nothing. By the time the sun climbed higher, its warmth spreading across the yard, I forced myself to move. This place was where he had first noticed me. The memory lingered, soft and distant, like morning dew. I let it replay one last time. Footsteps approached. 2 male servants crossed the yard toward me. Miss, you've been called to return, one of them said, quickening his pace before stopping in front of me. I still have time, I replied. I'll go back myself. I turned away, dismissing them with a small gesture. It's an order, he insisted. From whom? I asked, glancing back. I didn't get an answer. A cloth suddenly pressed over my mouth and nose. I tried to pull away, but the scent hit instantly. My vision blurred, and my body gave in before I could fight. Darkness closed in. The moment I stirred awake, I felt the tightness around my wrists and ankles. A cloth was tied over my mouth, muffling any sound. My body lay on its side, pressed against rough ground, dry hay scratching against my skin. I struggled, trying to loosen the ropes behind my back. They didn't budge. A pair of feet stopped in front of me. I looked up and froze. Jing. A scream tore from my throat, muffled, desperate. She crouched down and helped me sit up, raising a finger to her lips. Shoo. Slowly, she untied the cloth from my mouth. Jing? I gasped the moment I could speak. Help me. Untie me, now. Why the rush? She asked. Her face was blank. I thought you didn't want to become a courtesan. Or is it because your sponsor isn't Lord Mang? A chill ran down my spine. She stood and turned her back to me. I heard Lord Kongxing is quite the gentleman. Noble, wealthy, handsome. She turned, her gaze cutting into me. Hard to resist, isn't it? I shook my head quickly. No, you're misunderstanding. I didn't choose this. I had no other choice. No other choice, she repeated. Her voice hardened. Then she laughed, short and bitter. That's rich, coming from you, the muse of Night Bead. Why you? She demanded. Why does someone like you get chosen? She stepped closer, grabbing my collar, pulling me forward until our faces were inches apart. I didn't realize you had it in you. To charm Master Wangi like that. To make him favor you. Impressive. She shoved me back. The hatred in her eyes hit harder than the fall. This wasn't the Jing I knew. Not the one who had once guided me, helped me. Not the gentle voice that used to comfort me in the dark. Jing. What happened to you? Was it Lord Mang? Her expression twisted instantly, and something ugly flickered across her face. She stepped closer again, looming over me. Why don't you ask him yourself? She sneered. I'm sending you to him anyway. You'll see him soon enough. Cold dread spread through me. My throat went dry. What are you saying? My voice shook. Why are you doing this? So Wangi can finally face the consequences, she said, her tone sharpened. She tilted her head slightly. It'll make a scandal. A master in love with his courtesan. It'll humiliate Lord Kongxing. A betrayal. I want to see him fall. And when he does, I'll take his place. Her eyes gleamed. Lord Mang promised me night bead in exchange for you. Jing, please. I forced myself forward, dropping at her feet. Don't do this to him. I'll do anything. I'll disappear. Just don't hurt him. Shu Yan, wake up. Her gaze cut through me. Stop dreaming about him. He will never choose you over his business. He's no different from the others. From Lord Mang. Men who use women however they please. You'll understand soon enough. No, I said, shaking my head. You're wrong. Master Wangi isn't like that. He knows what he's done. It also weighs on him. He doesn't seek happiness for himself. Shut up. Her hand shot forward, grabbing me, covering my mouth again. You're insane, she snapped. Falling for the man who's selling you, pushing you into other men's arms. You should have known better. My eyes burned with tears as I looked at her, begging. She released me slowly. You know what this place is? This room used to hold women who tried to escape. It's been abandoned for years. No one comes here anymore. She stepped back. Rest well. Lord Ming's men will be here soon. I pushed myself up, only to collapse again. The ground slammed against me. Pain shot through my arm, but I kept moving. Dragging myself toward the door. It was no use. I lay there, breath uneven, tears sliding down the bridge of my nose. Master Wangi. I called his name silently, over and over. As if he could hear me. If he knew I was gone, he would tear this place apart to find me. A sudden rattling sound broke the silence. Metal against metal. My heart lurched. Lord Ming's men? Were they here already? The door creaked open. Shu Yan! Lu Nan gasped. She rushed to my side, dropping to her knees, quickly pulling the cloth from my mouth. Lu Nan? I stared at her. How did you find me? She worked quickly at the ropes binding my hands. I've been watching Jing, she said. The ropes loosened. My body sagged forward. I looked up at her, searching her face. She exhaled. Don't thank me. I'm not doing this for you. I just don't like seeing her get what she wants. Anne. Night Bead is also my home. Chapter 8. By the time I made it out, the sky had already darkened. Evening had fallen. There wasn't much time left before Lord Kongxing's arrival. But I could still make it. I ran through the corridors, past servants and maids who turned to stare. My hair came loose, whipping in the wind. The hem of my robe dragged across the dirt. I didn't care. When I reached the guest chamber, I was breathless, unsteady, barely able to stand. Lord Kongxing sat at the table. His expression was usually calm, composed, but tonight there was a hint of impatience. A faint crease at his brow. And beside him, stood Master Wangi. Shu Yan? His voice sharpened in surprise as he took in my disheveled state. His gaze hardened almost immediately. A flicker of suspicion. He stepped closer. Why aren't you ready yet? I lifted my eyes to meet his. My chest burned, not from the run, but from holding everything back. The urge to reach for him. Instead, I forced a small smile, though it didn't reach my eyes. Confusion crossed his face, but he didn't press further. I didn't have time. I brushed past him and stepped in front of Lord Confronting. My apologies, my lord, I said, bowing. I've kept you waiting. And as you can see, I'm not prepared. He stood at once, concern replacing the earlier impatience. Did something happen? His hand came to my shoulder, gentle, careful. I shook my head quickly. My lord, there's something urgent I must attend to. I ask that you postpone tonight. I give you my word, I will be here tomorrow. I'm sorry to disappoint you. What is this about? Wang Yi's voice came from behind me. But Lord Confronting raised a hand, stopping him. It's all right. His eyes studied mine for a moment longer. Go, he said at last. Finish what you need to. Relief flickered through me. I'll return tomorrow. I bowed once more, then turned. I didn't dare look at Wang Yi. I walked past him, past the tension in his silence, and left the room. On my way here, I had already decided the only solution that could save everyone. Wang Yi, Jing, and me. But I knew someone would get hurt. I just hoped it would be me. So I said nothing to Wang Yi. Not yet. I needed to find Jing first and talk to her. I could change her mind. If Lord Meng discovered she had let me escape, I didn't want to imagine what he would do to her. I had to find her before it was too late. She wasn't in her room. Not anywhere in the house. With every second that passed, my chest tightened. Then I saw her. Just a glimpse of her side profile, across the front yard. Patrons moved in and out behind her. She turned, and our eyes met for a single heartbeat. Then she walked through the grand gates and into the dark street. Wait, I grabbed a lantern from a nearby servant and ran after her. The path ahead was dim. The lantern barely lit the ground before me. I turned corners, scanning every shadow. No sign of her. Only my own footsteps, my own breath. Then I caught a faint sound, and I followed it. The ground was rough beneath my feet. My soles burned, and my knees trembled. I stopped, just for a moment, trying to catch my breath. A hand suddenly grabbed my arm. I nearly screamed. Master Wang Yi? Relief crashed over me. What are you doing out here alone? He snapped. His brows were tightly drawn. I hesitated. I'm looking for Jing. Jing? He repeated. What's going on? What are you hiding from me? I pulled my arm free. I don't have time to explain. Shu Yan, wait. That way is. A figure stepped out of the darkness. I raised the lantern, and the light fell across her face. Jing. Her steps were slow. Behind her was nothing. Just endless darkness. Only then did I realize she was standing at the edge of a cliff. Jing, I called, stepping forward carefully. Don't do anything rash. Let's talk. Fine, she said flatly. As if nothing mattered anymore. What do you want to talk about? Wang Yi glanced at me, confusion written across his face. But there was no time to explain. Whatever happened between you and Lord Meng, we'll fix it together. Don't let it destroy you. You're still you. I know you are. I'll help you. I promise. She let out a quiet, bitter laugh. You don't have to. My problem is already gone. Something in her tone felt wrong. Then, we can go back, I said quickly. Things can return to normal. I killed him. Her words cut through the air. Wang Yi and I both froze. What did you say? Wang Yi's voice cracked. Stop joking. I'm not. Her gaze didn't waver. If you don't believe me, go back to Night Bead. Officials will be there soon. They'll be looking for the killer. Shouldn't the owner be present? The color drained from Wang Yi's face. For the first time, I saw fear in his eyes. But, why? I whispered. Weren't you going to send me to him? What? Wang Yi grabbed my shoulders, turning me toward him. What did she do to you? Nothing, I said quickly. And you need to go back. What will happen to everyone if you're not there? I'm not leaving you here with her, he said, cupping my cheek. She's not stable. Who knows what she might do? I can protect myself, I said. But he shook his head. I'm not leaving. His eyes didn't move. Not even for a second. Don't make me laugh, Jing snapped. Her voice cut sharp between us. You've always chosen Nightbeat above everything. And now you're choosing her? I won't let anything happen to Shu Yan or Nightbeat. His hand tightened around mine. Really? Jing turned her head slowly, looking into the distance. Then look. We followed her gaze. Smoke, thick and dark, rose into the sky. And beneath it was flames. Red and spreading. In the direction of Nightbeat. Master, my hand flew to my mouth. But horror swallowed everything. Chapter 9. Wang Yi didn't say a word. He stood there, watching the smoke and flames twist into the night sky, carried by the wind. He didn't move. Didn't even try to pull away from my hand. My chest ached for him. I turned to Jing. Something had changed in her. Her eyes glistened, and a faint smile curved at her lips. For the first time in a long while, she looked alive. How could you? I cried. Is this what you wanted? To destroy Nightbeat? Why? She didn't answer me. Her gaze shifted to Wang Yi. Master, I never expected anything from you. Not even a single glance. I accepted my fate the moment I entered that place. I would serve you. But I thought, at least you would be fair. Her jaw tightened. You let that beast walk in and out as he pleased. But the moment he touched her. She pointed at me. You threw him out. You wanted to be the hero in her eyes. You're a precious one. A bitter laugh escaped her. You're not fair. You're just like any men. Greedy. You want everything. Power, money, and beauty. Her chest rose and fell rapidly. She wiped at her tears, but more followed. Why didn't you come to me? Wang Yi asked. His voice was low. Strained. If he hurt you, I would have done the same. I would have banished him. Jing stilled. Then her eyes emptied. I let him. The words fell softly but shattered everything. I let him do it to me. Her voice trembled as she clutched around her own wrist. I begged him to. For money. I needed it to pay my family's debts. My mother came to me secretly. At first, it was just a little. Then more and more. She cried, begged, talked about debts, about hunger. I couldn't turn her away. She let out a hollow laugh. Funny thing is, no one ever thanked me. To them, I was just a tool. They only came when they needed something. She took a step back. The wind tugged at her clothes. I was tired. So tired. So I decided I would take everything back from all of you. It started with you. Then him. And finally, Lord Meng. Her lips curved slightly. I stabbed him 18 times. I cut his face until no one could recognize him. Her voice turned eerily calm. I made sure he was alive when I did it. So he could feel it. The pain he gave me. The wind grew stronger. Jing stepped closer to the edge. I pulled free from Wang Yi and ran toward her. Stop, she shouted. Don't come any closer. I froze. Jing, please. This isn't your fault. I took a careful step forward. We can fix this. We'll find a way. Shu Yan, her voice softened. It's all right now. She placed a hand over her chest. This is the end for me. No more pain. No more being used. A tear slipped down her cheek. Just let me be free. Please, my voice broke. Don't do this. At least, she smiled faintly. Let me choose how it ends. Time seemed to slow. She leaned back and fell. Ha Jing! I lunged forward, dropping to my knees at the edge, reaching out. But it was too late. For a fleeting moment, I saw her face. Peaceful. Her eyes soft. Like the Ha Jing I once knew. Then she was gone. Wang Yi pulled me back. He drew me into his chest. I clutched his robe, my body shaking as sobs tore free. I could have saved her. I should have seen it sooner. All this time, I was lost in my own feelings. And I never repaid her kindness. Not even once. Chapter 10. As we returned to Night Bead, it was almost completely reduced to ash. Flames still licked at what remained. It was chaos. People screamed, ran, threw water at the fire that refused to die. Very little had been saved. Wang Yi stood in silence, watching as the flame swallowed what was left of his house. His lips were pressed tight. I couldn't imagine what he was feeling. Night Bead wasn't just a place. It was everything he had built. Everything he carried. And now, it was gone. The sky began to pale, dawn was coming. Without a word, Wang Yi guided me away. We turned our backs on the fire. We stopped at a small wooden house, tucked away at the far end of the district. He knocked lightly. The door opened, and Madame Wei emerged from the inside. Madame Wei. I whispered. She let us in. Inside, a small round table sat beneath a single candle. We gathered around it. Madame Wei, are you all right? I asked. She nodded, her gaze steady, reassuring. Then she slid a square wooden box toward Wang Yi. Here's everything I could gather, she said. Wang Yi exhaled quietly. Did everyone receive their share? They did. They left before the fire started. That's good, he murmured. Something about their exchange felt expected. Wang Yi noticed my expression. His hand rested over mine. Madame Wei set the fire, he said. My breath caught. Why? In case things went wrong, he replied. If it couldn't be saved, we would destroy it ourselves. The room felt suddenly smaller. The air heavier. How did you know about Lord Meng? Wang Yi asked Madame Wei. Lu Nan came to me, she said. She told me Ha Jing killed him. It looked like she was acting on Ha Jing's order, but she didn't admit it. She drew a slow breath. We were fortunate his body was found late. Otherwise, I wouldn't have had time to act. I lowered my gaze. Had Ha Jing planned it this way? To lure us away, to let everything collapse behind us. Lord Meng was dead, and Night Bead was gone. Her revenge was complete. But was she ever at peace? I hoped she was. Tears slipped down before I could stop them. Wang Yi's thumb brushed gently against my cheek. Are you all right? You must have been frightened, Madame Wei added softly. I'll be fine, I said, though my voice trembled. What do we do now? You must leave, Madame Wei said firmly. Lord Wu will not let this go. He will want answers. You need to be gone before he finds you. Wang Yi glanced at me briefly. His knuckles turned white. And what? Live on the run forever? It is better than being convicted of a crime you did not commit. Madame Wei placed a hand on his shoulder. I promised your mother I would not let anything happen to you. You are still young. There is more waiting for you out there. Her palm pressed gently. I will stay a while longer. There is no evidence left. But if anyone is taken, I will take responsibility. Wang Yi cursed under his breath. He leaned back in his seat, one hand covering his temple. You know I will not allow that. Ha Jing was under my care, she said quietly. But I failed her. So I will carry both her sins and the consequences. My time is already nearing its end. Even if I am caught, what can they truly do to me? For a long while, silence stretched between us. Wang Yi was clearly not convinced. Madame Wei had been his servant in name only. He had always treated her with respect. To lose her too, after losing Night Bead, must have been unbearable. Let me stay instead, I said. It was my fault as well. But Jing spared me in the end. She never meant to harm me. I owe her so much. Let me repay her by doing this. You will repay her by living a good life, Madame Wei cut in sharply. Why do you think she let you live? In all she did, perhaps the best thing was caring for you. Do not let that kindness go to waste. I looked at Madame Wei. She gave me a knowing nod. A sudden knock at the door shattered the moment. Madame Wei warned us to stay still as she rose to answer it. She returned almost at once, her face pale. You must leave now. Lord Wu's soldiers are close. There is no more time. I am not leaving without you, Wang Yi said. I will stay too, I added, stepping beside him. I will stay wherever you are. I met his eyes with all the determination I had. Shu Yan, Wang Yi groaned. Both of you, leave now, Madame Wei ordered. You love each other. Go build your life. She touched Wang Yi's face. Her eyes glistened. Promise me you will live, no matter what. Think of it as my final wish, young master. None of this is your fault. It never was. So you must be happy. Wang Yi's lips trembled. Tears fell despite himself. He clutched her hand tightly in his. Outside, a horse had already been prepared. Supplies were packed. Madame Wei embraced us both. Her arms were warm. She slipped a note into Wang Yi's hand. Go here. They will help you. I will find you when things settle. I climbed onto the horse behind Wang Yi. I kept looking back for as long as I could until Madame Wei disappeared into the morning mist. The horse galloped forward. Though we had gone far, neither of us felt safe. It was as if danger still chased at our backs. After a long while, the horse slowed. We rode on in silence. Wang Yi's shoulders looked tense. I remembered his words clearly, how guilt had always lived inside him. But now that everything was gone, would he carry those sins forever? I wrapped my arms around his waist and rested my head against his back. Close your eyes, he said softly. It is still a long road ahead. I leaned closer. Are you sure? He asked after a moment. We may have to live in hiding, for the rest of our lives. A quiet, bitter laugh escaped him. It is no better than living in Night Bead. It is, I said. Anywhere is better, if I am with you. My life has always been in your hands. He released one hand from the reins and placed it over mine. I owe you, and all the women who lived in Night Bead. His voice darkened with regret. You do not owe us anything, I replied. You saved our lives. From cruel families. Mine. Jing's. If not for you, we would have been sold elsewhere. Somewhere far worse. I could not save anyone in the end, he said sadly. They were dragged into this because of me. And now. I am running. My grip tightened. It is not your fault. You did your best. No one could have foreseen this tragedy. I believe they all understood. It is fine if you cannot let go of your guilt. I will carry it with you. I have enough of my own. Jing. I would never forget her. I would live remembering her kindness and the silent pain that drove her to that cliff. I would live with a heavy guilt, but a lighter heart. All right, Wang Yi said quietly. Let us live. To wherever, I whispered. Wang Yi tightened the reins, and the horse surged forward, carrying us into the unknown.